Today we're going to be revisiting my lazy gold making method. Let us begin. Okay, so when it comes towards everything with my lazy gold making method, I made around about a year ago, give or take, for that video. I wanted to revisit it for today and go over how simple the process is. What I've done is I've set up all my characters and we're going to be doing every single one of the little farms all combined together into one video together today. That being said, when it comes towards everything, we will be going over our mailbox for the day, which comes in at a healthy 134,711 gold for the day. Items of note is the replica vitreous robe, 7,262 gold. That's not too bad. Cheap replica gears, however we managed to sell a replica piece from yesterday. And the other thing of note is the War Scrolls of Battle Shout, once again 8,462 gold. Those ones that are seeming to be very, very useful when it comes towards just pulling in regular profit every single day. And then we sold our big hefty one for the day, which is our Gurabashi Mojo Madness for 240 for 67,248 gold. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm pretty certain that someone is doing either a reset or is mass crafting with those. So I'm quite happy I got a massive chunk right there. Other things of note that I managed to sell was more War Scrolls, and we even sold a Storm's deck, which is a Dark Moon card deck which I just made up from doing a load of flipping with Dark Moon cards ages ago with the old world. So 134,711 gold, pull that all in for the day, and that gives us a nice chunk ahead of time for everything else. That being said, let's get on to the gold farms for the day, which brings us into the zone of 𝐆𝐀𝐌𝐄 to start off with. Now this one is for the Reigns of Poseidon, and dotted around the entire area of all of the different areas, so Abyssal Depths and also the Shimmering Expanse, we'll be looking for the Poseidon mount to be dropped from the rare mob Poseidon. Now this one is 100% drop chance. It does vary on your realm how expensive it actually goes for, and yesterday I actually got a hold of one, so I'm hoping this morning by doing this I can actually get another one, but it depends on how hard it is actually farmed, but I wanted to revisit it for the day. That being said, I'm going to check out the different types of spawn points, which I know off by heart. However, if you want the locations, then please feel free to look at them on the screen right now, as they are literally there, so you can check them out as well. But over enough time you will not need the spawn location checkpoints. It's pretty easy and pretty standard to actually get a hang of everything moving forward. But realistically, all we're doing is just trying to find Poseidon and just take him out. The only other thing that I would actually recommend is take out Mobius if you're doing this gold farm, because he is a rare boss and he does have a chance of dropping a couple of things like gold and or other bits. So if you're just swimming past, you pick him up, and that's just a free 167 gold, along with a couple of easy selling transmogs. Those ones tend to not sell for an awful lot, but they do sell for a decent amount. And as we're passing by, we can see that we're going past the Azhara's Vale farm from back in the day from Cataclysm. So what we're doing now is heading over to the last spawn location, which is over here in the Abyssal Depths. And if he's not here, we can log out and go to the next character for the lazy gold making method. You can see that he is not around. Poseidon is not around in any slight chance of the word. If you actually go over to like this little checkpoint right here, around about here in this sense, so just think of the big shell, this is where he will generally be, and then if not, then you can just log out of your character and go on to the next gold farm. Next up we have the Tanan rares, and all we got to do is just take out these guys and we'll then just go over towards the other ones. These guys have a chance of dropping the Crash and Thrusher toys, which is 3 mobs in Tanan jungle. They're just over here So if I actually pull up the map correctly, pull it up, you can see it'll be roughly around about here, and you just need to take them out. So smash and grab has a chance of dropping one and everything. And I managed to get one the other day. However, with everything else, it's about a 10% drop chance if I remember right. It's either 9 or 10%, and it's just a really quick one in order to do. So if you've got an ult spare, you can just do that. Now, I generally like utilizing ults because I have quite a few of them that just sit there doing nothing. So I'd rather just space them out and shove them in a particular area. That is the Tanan Rares farm done. Overall, I generally like to do quick little farms that can produce something aside from just grinding out something like for like 3 hours or something to that effect. This is why it's a lazy gold making method, because yeah, it takes literally just a few minutes of spawn camping and just running around the world with different ults. It's like utilizing what you have in order to actually gain your gold. Next up is the mana theme pets with my mage. We'll just take out this guy, hello, and if we pull up the map right now, this one's in Nagrand, in Wad, and all we gotta do is just fly around this area here. There's 3 mobs for the mana theme pets. Now, like I stated, I do know this off by heart, so just be warned about that. But overall, it's not really that hard in order to do. That's number 2, and then we've got the next one, which is our last one, and this is Pug, and we'll just take him out as well. You know what? Yeah. And we didn't get the battle pet. Mana theme battle pets go for a decent chunk of gold. Actually, if I quickly run this up and just go into open world, go into toys, we can see that the Crush and Thrusher toys are about 1,000 gold each, and we've done this in under a minute for the little farm. And if we cancel that quickly, jump onto our little Brutosaur, I can quickly show you what it actually looks at. Mana theme. So the mana theme pets are going from anywhere from 1,700 gold to 1,500 gold to sell on the auction house. Not bad for a quick farm if you've got an ult that isn't actually doing anything. So you might as well utilize them into like a 2-minute gold farm. But recently I have been looking at all the other different types of ways of making gold recently. I've been on a massive gold watching spree of everyone else, all the other content creators. A couple of things have spiked my interest when it comes towards professions, as I'll be honest with you, I'm more of a classic old world crafter, and that's how I like to make gold. However, I've been looking at a lot of other creators who do the current content stuff, and some of it's actually quite interesting to actually look at. Let's just jump over towards the Blasted Rares, where you just run around the entire zone and you take out all of the rare elites for the Dranathis Spheres and Dranathis Fragments. So these lovely little things, and we sell those on the auction house. We actually sold some yesterday. But back to this topic. I was really looking at all of the different types of methods in order people are making gold in current. I generally go for high eye level stuff, but there's a lot of things like different types of shuffles and everything that I really am looking at taking a look into and having a gander at. However, I am a little bit concerned about my specs, because obviously my builds are for high item levels and high quality, so it's one of those things where my builds may not be up to scratch, but luckily I've got a load of ults. The same again applies with when it comes towards ults. I very much enjoy utilizing ults, so I've been looking into different types of methods in order to make gold, where it comes to leveling and fresh ults and everything. So in regards to fresh ults, I mean like the one-time quests and everything, and literally leveling them up in that sense. So that's spiked my interest, so to speak. But we can jump over and have a nice little look at everything else with these guys. Now the birdie should be in the sky. I don't see it, so let's just carry on, as we don't want to waste time. If it's not there, there's no point looking around for it. And the Blasted Rares farm is really simple. You just sell these lovely things on the auction house. You can give get the quests, these turn-ins, and give them in, and then sell whatever you get from that. However, I generally find that these are better at selling than the MOG, And it used to be in the back in the day that if you got an Imperial chain vest, it used to go for a stupid amount of gold from the blue ones, from turning them in, and then you could sell that on the auction house. But realistically these days, it's not really worth it unless you're doing like a mass turn-in of these, and they're very some of them are quite expensive, especially depending on your server, because these are 300 gold a piece, and at 300 gold a piece it's not really worth it depending on what you're actually getting hold of. So you need to double check things before you start giving them in. I've always really found that the imperfect ones are really hit or miss, so you're really going with that RNG factor if you really want to jump in towards everything and that. However, this doesn't take that long in order to do. You run around and you just grab a few thousand golds worth of these guys, and there's the rare elite right now. As it's early in the morning, it's only 5:45 because I'm a nut job who always gets up stupidly early. But that also gives me the advantage that a lot of the rare elites, the rare bosses will be up, and then I can do my farming without anyone actually getting in the way. I can just crack on and deal with it. And there you are, my friend. I think I'm gonna wait for you to there we go, and we've got him right there. And then our last rare for this farm, for the Blasted Rares farm, is just over here, and he's just here. There we go. There's Grunter. Take him out. Once we've done that, all we've got to then do is just jump onto our Brutosaur, and yeah, we are going to utilize the new one because I need the mailbox, and then we'll send it on. So jump over towards Corana, give that in, and then we can sell those on the auction house straight up. Now, in regards to this Brutosaur mount, initially I was very upset because when they announced this thing, yeah, okay, it comes with an auction house thing, sweet, but the fact that it came with a mailbox really rubbed me the wrong way for a paid mount. I was for someone who farmed up all of the gold in order to get a hold of a Brutosaur, it really did upset me in some sense of the word, because that took ages in order to do. I remember everyone banding together to get a hold of the Brutosaur, the camaraderie and everything, and that's initially where my channel actually blew up, so I've got a lot of fond memories of that. But at the end of the day, Blizzard are going to do what Blizzard are going to do. I had been going on about a mailbox mount for ages, where they could have just done a snail mount, which it was snail mail, so to speak. But that being said, I guess they just want to make some money off of the anniversary events. And I'm pretty certain you guys know what type of gold farm we're doing right now. We're on the Isle of Thunder, taking out all of the rares on here for a 2% chance of the Sealed Tome of the Lost Legion with my Warlock. This one's a staple one that I like to do, and I talked about it the other day. It just works over time. If you do it once and you don't get jack, yeah, don't be surprised. This is really hit or miss. However, when you do win, if you do it enough, much like any type of RNG gold farm, you will get it and you'll be able to spend that. This run takes me roughly around about 7 minutes in order to do. I would like it to be a lot faster. However, 7-minute run every day, early in the morning, when I'm just waking up, drinking a cup of coffee, and all that stuff, to get an item that can be worth a decent amount. So, sealed. So currently the Sealed Tome of the Lost Legion is going for around about 12,992 gold. That's not bad for a 7-minute farm every day. If I get that, I can sell that on the auction house, no problems, and I can just make some easy gold just by doing a regular thing. It's kind of like your dailies, but they take less time. But realistically, I just thought yesterday to revisit the lazy gold making method, mainly due in part that it does actually work and it does actually make a decent amount of gold. The only thing I excluded from it was because I had so many alts, I just removed the daily dungeon from everything. So it's mainly just a load of spawn camping into one area, which isn't that much of a problem. It's just utilising your ults that aren't really doing anything much, and that's kind of the point that I want to get across is, well, if you've got loads of ults just sitting there, you might as well utilise them in order to make a little bit of an additional amount of gold for just a quick log every single day. Even if it's just a couple of few hundred gold, that's a few hundred gold you didn't have while your ult is just sat there idle, not doing anything. You might as well put them to work on a spawn camp or something. And that's the point I'm trying to get across. Even if your ult is doing jack all, you might as well shove him in a place or get him to do something that can generate a little bit of gold, even if it is just something that is minuscule or something to that effect, but it takes you literally like a minute to log in, log out, and just get a hold of that, because that will add up over time. Yes, of course, you can min-max and do like the hardcore shuffles, which I've been watching a load of videos about. I'm really interested in a few guys' shuffles, which I'll probably be checking out later today, and then I'll report my findings if they work, of course. If they don't work, I won't talk about them at all. But that being said, I'll be checking out a load of them. So if you guys have any shuffles or different types of things that you want me to check out or test in regards to gold making in general, my characters are pretty much up together with their professions. Leave it in the comment section and I'll check it out. I've got a pretty big list of testing in order to do, because I'm very much a proprietor of old world stuff, so anything current content you want me to check out, I will check it out. However, I'm more in favour of those little wins every single day that build up into something massive. So just take that one into account. I do like lazy gold making methods because then I don't feel compelled to play for like 10 hours a day, because let's be quite frank, you'd get very bored if you're just farming materials for 10 hours every single day. And we kind of do have lives, if you know what I mean. Oh, hello there, Mr. Ramach. Let's just take you out. Now, I must say, I've had more chances with this guy getting the Sealed Tome of the Lost Legion than all the other different types of rares. I don't know why, he just seems to drop it more. May just be me being a bit silly, but yeah, the majority of the time it does come from that guy. But all rares on this island have a chance of dropping the Sealed Tome of the Lost Legion, except for the world boss Nawak, who just will drop the mount. I believe that one's the Cobalt one, if I'm not mistaken. I've also been thinking about other different types of content moving forward, as I've got a few weeks off before Christmas from my day job. So I've been planning out loads of content to make that are a little bit wider in scope than everything else. So been looking into doing all of that stuff, as I really think some of the little different types of making methods and everything would help quite a bit. Now that is the gold farm done. We're just going to plonk him back where Luban spawns, and we just log out and go over towards the next gold farm. As it stands, the video is currently around about 20 to 23 minutes long as of now. So we've still only spent around about 23 minutes, and we spent a couple of minutes going over towards the mailbox. So let's just say 20 minutes at the moment for this lazy gold making method. And we've done a load of checks. Next one is Dala GG, and this one's going to be Servant of Demidos. This is for the Demidos battle pack, 10% drop chance once again, but this one's only a daily kill, so be prepared for that. So there he is, Demidos, take him out. Did we get the chance of getting a hold of it? We didn't, and we just logged back out for the day, and that's done with all of that. Actually, while we're here, we might as well do our Jade's Peculiar Energy Source. So we'll just go over towards Jade's and open up your thermal anvil, do the craft for the day, and that's 13, and we can just log out at the same time for the Sky Golem crafts. So I will incorporate that into our lazy gold making method, because that's all we've got to do, is just log on to my engineer, do the farm, do the craft, log back out, and then after 30 days I get my Sky Golem, and well, definitely after 30 days I'll have a Servant of Demidos on the auction house. Next thing of note will be Aloo. This is my wife's character, so I figured I'd get her to actually do something. And she's doing the 𝐆𝐀𝐿 one for obvious reasons. 𝐆𝐀𝐿 is just easy farm for her, so I added that one in. It's not worth an awful lot. It's about 459 gold, but literally just for logging in, taking out 𝐆𝐀, and then just selling that on the auction house. This is one of the fastest selling mounts, so therefore I'll just grab that 𝐆𝐀𝐿, go over towards Corana, send it over on the mailbox, and that's 400 odd gold we didn't have. And my wife's not using this character at the moment, and we are right here for this one, so that's pretty good. However, this one is a little bit tedious, so just be warned for that. And all we're doing is just taking out all of these guys. We've got to just see if we can get the 𝐆𝐀𝐿 battle pet from the little boss. So let's just take him out, take out that, and once you've taken out all of these guys, you'll be able to see this guy right here, and then we'll have a chance of getting hold of the 𝐆𝐀𝐿 pet. So take him out, see, did we get it? We didn't get it. Jump into spirit wolf form, and we can go find the other ones for the day. Now if we actually mount up instead, we can run around a little bit faster, because we're only looking for one particular little dude. And if we run round the entire area of the Timeless Isle, we can see if we can get a hold of that rare elite, which is the 𝐆𝐀𝐿 Swarm Bringer. Now you can actually pick out some of the nests for these guys, the wind feathers, for those different types of battle pets. However, those ones tend to not sell for an awful lot of gold, and it's just literally as soon as you pick out one of the nests, all of them will attack you. So it depends if you want to incorporate that. I generally don't, because I just find it annoying, but that's a personal preference aside from gold making and everything. So jumping in towards here, we're looking for a couple of different dudes. I take out these guys for the Jade, I believe for the Jade Fire Spirits, so just zap them with our spells, but realistically we're going for the Spirit of Jade Fire for the Jade Fire Spirit, just around the corner from this Jade Fire Spirit rare. So we'll take him out. Do we get it? Nope. And then you've got these lovely ones which have the Ominous Flame, and those ones drop another different battle pet, so be sure to actually take them out as well. The drop chances on these are quite rare, but when you stack all of the rare elites together, then it adds up quite nicely. So just be warned for that one. You don't need to take out this guy, because that's just a really annoying rare to actually do, and it doesn't actually provide you with anything decent unless you're really going for that old world transmog for yourself. However, let's just mount up and keep going with everything. It will be the Gulp Frog one, so we'll cut through over here. Now I remember back in WoD, loads of people were doing all this farming over here for the timeless coins in order to get a hold of the bananas battle pet, and just spawn farming everything. But especially when it comes towards the little frogs that we're heading over towards now. I remember everyone, I believe it was Legion, everyone was farming this up like crazy, just taking out all of these Gulp Frogs, and just a constant churn of destruction, and just getting a hold of all of those pets and everything. However, the rare is not up, so we'll just curve back round and head over towards our next area, which will be going on top of the bridge. And now while we're running around the Timeless Isle, we'll just make sure that we don't see Hulon, because we'll be wanting to take him out as well, because he has a chance of dropping a 1% mount, so we want to make sure of that. However, yesterday I did manage to get a hold of one of the battle pets that are actually quite rare, and that was the Ashleaf Spriteling, which is now currently on the auction house. Hopefully we can get that again, because the rare's up at the moment. So let's have a look. So if we just do a chain lightning, we can just take out all of these mobs right here, loot it up, and hopefully we get it. And nope, we can now log out. That run is now done with my shaman. Coming into our next farm, it is this lovely one, which is still on the turnstile, but it takes a little while, so let's just take him out, see if we get a hold of the ruby droplet. We didn't. However, if you guys want to get on top of here, there's a couple of different ways. I swim out into the middle of the ocean, fly up, use my dragon flying to speed over there, and as soon as it dismounts me, I use a goblin glider kit to get on top. Failing that, you are more than welcome to hit a seagull with a non-damaging ability. They'll pick you up and they'll fly you over here. Just kill the seagull when you want to drop into the water to farm this up. This one's for Garnia, for the ruby droplet. So if we go into open world, go to rare pets, we can just see ruby droplet, 12,000 gold, and that farm doesn't take all that long in order to do. It's just really annoying to get to, so having a ult there to just spawn camp it just works really well. Now the last one for the lazy gold making methods, of course, is for the world bosses for Cataclysm. So let's see if this guy's up. Yes, he is up, and let's take him out. Because if we just zap him, loot him, we have a chance of getting a hold of different types of things. You get 246 raw gold from taking him out, so that's 200 and something odd gold for not doing much. You get a couple of different types of transmogs, which sell rather fast in the grand scheme of transmog, and you get some recipes to sell on the auction house as well. I add them together, and then we can sell that on the auction house also. So these guys are in the Twilight Highlands. I specifically post him right here. You have one in every single Cataclysm zone in order to take out, and they have also have a chance of dropping the rhinestone sunglasses recipe, which if we go in towards our Brutusaur right here, we can see that the rhinestone sunglasses recipe is going for anywhere from 45,000 gold to 280,000 gold, and that those ones are quite expensive in order to get a hold of. So spawn camping these guys, they have a chance of dropping it. However, me and Callum were talking yesterday, because I figured he's done a lot of farming on those recipes, as well as getting a hold of the ones for the High Society top hat. So High Society top hat recipe is going for 44,000 gold as well. And I was talking to Callan yesterday as well when it comes towards those types of gold farms, and yeah, he managed to do it on loads of different characters on loads of different servers in order to get a hold of them, and he did manage to get a hold of quite a few. If you had to warrant a guess, then how many character kills would it take to get a hold of one of those recipes, if you can remember? And he was like, it was something around about 12 to 16 kills and you'd get a recipe, which isn't too bad for those types of recipes. But the trick is to try and see if these world bosses are up. That's the tricky one. So taking out these guys with my last ult for this recipe, and obviously as you can see I don't get it, but we do have quite a few of those different types of items to sell in the auction house. He did go on to mention that you should be a jewel crafter or a tailor on your character in order to get a hold of the recipes, as you don't really want to take your chances. I remember a YouTuber back in the day from Legion was talking about this for farming world bosses. I believe his name was Murgle. He said something along the same thing. So if I'm going to continue with this, I'd make sure that this guy is a tailor or a jewel crafter, or even both, for farming these world bosses, because we've just gained 396 gold along with recipes and all that stuff. But if we can have a chance of getting hold of those higher recipes for the top hat or the rhinestone sunglasses, I want to be able to increase my chances overall to getting a hold of it in that effect. But that being said, that's around about 35 minutes in order to do the daily lazy gold making method. Got a few different types of items. Some items were RNG based, which I did not get, but I wanted to give a little bit of a more realistic approach when it comes towards RNG farming, so there's the video for today. Like I said in this video, if you have anything you want me to check out or revisit or to that effect, I'll be happy to add that to my list of things that I wish to check out when it comes towards gold making, and then I can report on it for you with my videos, so to speak. So other than that, have an awesome one, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.